Hello and welcome to Heavenly Album Covers. And here we are, it's early morning. You just might hear our neighbor's chickens. Our neighbor raises chickens next door, and sometimes the roosters cluck and the chickens cluck. And so it's just sometimes a lot of clucking next door. And today we're going to look at an album called Lodger by David Bowie. We'll get to it pretty soon. The person that I got this from, that I bought it from, had, looks like they had photocopied or printed a facsimile of the original sticker that went on this album. It is actually a really good facsimile, and it goes right there and looks pretty good. This is the album we'll look at. It's a very interesting album overall, and the cover is utterly unique. A Canon of David Bowie, and I think he did have a Canon, a little small Canon in his garage. But first of all, we had great success with our David Live album overview yesterday, and I just wanted to show you some of the artwork that led up to the final thumbnails. And we really like thumbnails here at Heavenly Album Covers, and YouTube also likes thumbnails. They want creators to make really good thumbnails so that people look at their pages. And this is the metamorphosis of our thumbnail for the David Live episode. And it started off with the basic cover photo, and we added some and it kind of changes color a little bit, and it's still about the same, and you get the idea. And then finally we decided to copy Bowie's image and paste it nearby. It looks like he's moving around. More oomph. So that's the derivations of the thumbnail from last time. We've been also getting mentions in different places, not only on the internet, but in literature, in books that have been coming out there. These authors and celebrities and things are finally mentioning Heavenly Album Covers in their newly released books. Let me get a cup of coffee here. I'm going to run through some of the mentions we've had in some pretty big books, and there's one video that where the person mentions us in the video. So first we have Stan Chambers. Let's see if I can make that bigger. There we go. Stan Chambers, a esteemed reporter over at Channel 5. He's been there about 70 years, and he actually signed this to us. He autographed it for us, and it there's the autograph and his name down here. And he said in this book, page 151, Heavenly Album Covers is one of my favorite album cover sites. It's great. And comedian Dave Chappelle, this is a reissue of season 2 of the Chappelle Show. There's a little bit of an intro in here where Chappelle says that he really likes Heavenly Album Covers and that he hopes more people subscribes and likes it. This book is related to the Lodger album that we're gonna look, the David Bowie album, because it was produced and there was musical additions by Brian Eno. This is his really good book. It's called On Some Faraway Beach. This is a reissue. It's in its like 30th printing, and in the back here he gives a little bit of a dedication to Heavenly album covers. It's on page 431. Heavenly album covers really gets me going, and I really like it a lot, and it's nice to wake up to. I love opening up Heavenly album covers every morning, and I like to see what is happening on Heavenly album covers. Next up is a book by Andre Breton, the famous surrealist, and he has written, this is a fourth printing that just came out. The Heavenly album covers YouTube channel is one of my favorites, so that's what Andre Breton says, so it must have some importance. Guitar player Pete Townsend, in his book, Who I Am, and I quote, "I am Pete Townsend, and I surely recommend Heavenly album covers every day and all the time." And this next book just came out. It came out last week. It's by talk show host Wally George, the father of Combat TV. And this is kind of Wally George's autobiography. It's got some quotes here on the back. It says, "I am Wally George, and I think Heavenly album covers is really fantastic. I enjoy all the album cover posts." This is a book that was a great influence on the recent smash hit movie Barbie, and it's actually one in a series of the original Barbie books, and this has been reissued because of the movie success. And the book is called Three Cheers for Becky, and there's a quote inside by Becky and this Barbie doll, but mostly Becky. And Becky says, "Heavenly album covers is incredible. It brightens my day every day, and I especially like it when they talk about album covers." This book originally came out in the early 1950s, and it's just recently been given the super deluxe treatment. It's been reissued. It's called Rocket Rescue by D.S. Halsey Jr. And D.S. Halsey Jr. has updated his index back here. I really like Heavenly album covers because it makes me happy, and I wish more people would subscribe and like and comment, because I put this newly reissued book out because I want to spread the word about Heavenly album covers. And finally, this is a book by Jack Kerouac. It's called The Lost Paintings. This was just reissued on a different publication imprint. It's a great book. Jack Kerouac is known for his writing and his On the Road book, but he was a great painter and illustrator and drawing. He drew very well, and he's written a new dedication here. There's his art set, his art box, and it says, actually it's in the back, I couldn't exist without Heavenly album covers. It really makes me feel good, especially when I'm on the road and I feel sad." So Jack Kerouac, if you got his recommendation, you know you're doing pretty good. So let's pack these up and move on to the album of the day. Dave Chappelle really likes Heavenly album covers, as does Stan Chambers. Stan Chambers has covered very many large events in the history of Los Angeles, and it's a great honor that he would give Heavenly album covers a shout out. This album cover is, when I first saw it, I was shocked. It was so strange and weird. Let me get my pointer. And I remember first seeing this and noticing his bandaged hand here, and just wondering what was going on. There's some sort of floating thing here. He's the epitome of disheveled. He's a disheveled person. His belly button is showing. He's wearing this disheveled outfit, like very loose and disheveled. His hair is not like it usually is or usually was, but his nose also is, his whole face is contorted like it's smashed by some unseen force. His hand is backwards. They didn't really have Photoshop back here, or back then, so this was all done with photography, natural photography. It spreads out over the fold in the album cover, and again his feet are twisted around. He's on top of some sort of bathroom scene. There's the sink, and there he is all together. You'll have to tilt your monitors this way to see the whole image, but there he is. It's kind of a frightening, almost frightening image, but it's also kind of funny. It's amazing that they would go to such lengths to put David Bowie into this kind of contorted position. And also to top it off is the album title, some strange international writing, and this is like it's part of a postcard. And the inner gatefold, I have to flip it over now carefully. It's also a little bit strange. There's a pair of watches, I think this is the I'm not sure, is that Che Guevara? There's an actual picture of the photo shoot where some makeup artists are manipulating Bowie's face. There's like a dead person here, and I don't know if this is Jesus here on a slab, a concrete slab. There's a baby, and it's kind of coffee stained, not my coffee, and there's track listings. Robert Fripp is not on this album, but Adrian Belew is. I remember seeing Adrian Belew with his group, The Bears, live somewhere in Los Angeles. They were really good. They put out 2 or 3 albums. The first Bears album is really good. And Bowie does various songs here. This song, Red Money, is almost an exact duplicate of Iggy Pop's Calling Sister Midnight. I'm not sure the morphism of those 2 songs, how they're related, but this has the backing exactly like Sister Midnight on, I think, Iggy Pop's Idiot album. Maybe it was on Lust for Life. And then someone in the record company just cut David Bowie around here willy-nilly. I'm coughing a lot. It's early morning. It's the same exact photo from the front cover. It's just a little bit more black and white. He's got his hand in the same position and the same overall effect, imagery effect here. And he's pasted over some various international scenes here. And so that is David Bowie's Lodger. It's his Lodger album, and I'm going to grab that plastic slip sleeve to round out this episode. You can see how it pops right on there. This is definitely printed out by somebody, and they kind of glued it or taped it onto this plastic sleeve. So that's today's episode. tonight's episode, depending on where you are. And this is a great book. Brian Eno, I think, was in a car accident. Maybe I'm wrong, but he was in a car accident on a small London street. And this mostly covers his kind of mid to later period in music. This Pete Townsend book I read from cover to cover. It's somewhat interesting in a musical sense, but mostly Pete Townsend talks about how many women he's been with, and he seems very matter of fact and outspoken about just how he would pick up women and do things with them. But it's a good book. There he is. Uh-oh.